What's the best advice you've ever received? Learn something about everything, and everything about something. From my father, you can love the company you work for all you like. Just remember the company does not love you back. Excellent advice. Measure twice and cut once. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. Mark Twain. And never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Mark Twain. When your anger passes, the relationship is still there. Basically, when you're no longer angry, the damage done to your relationship while you acted on your anger remains and permanently hurts the relationship. In a year from now, you'll wish you started today. Don't promise when you're happy. Don't reply when you're angry. Don't decide when you're sad. I think I came across this one in 2012 and it has had a significant impact on me. Don't buy groceries when you're hungry. Don't look at what people say, look at what they do. Mama always said, stupid is as stupid does. If it smells like crap wherever you go, check under your own shoes first. Along the same lines, if you meet in butthole in the morning, you met in butthole. If you run into buttholes all day long, you're probably the butthole. A bend in the road isn't the end unless we fail to make the turn. If you can't be good, be safe, my father. If you can't be safe, name it after me, my grandfather. If you're ever caught with your eyes closed at work, the first thing you need to say is amen. Just ask my father's advice to 16-year-old me on how to get laid. Your dad seems pretty cool. People aren't all good and they aren't all bad. Being an optimistic person, the first part is sometimes harder to accept. It's more of a hindsight piece of advice, but it's good. Never be too proud to sweep the floors. Frick that. If everyone at my workplace had this attitude, I'd be out of a cleaning job. Keep dry and away from children. I got it from a box of matches. Still good advice yo. Keep cool, do not freeze, says my mayonnaise jar. When you have a generous impulse, follow it. If it randomly occurs to you to give money to a homeless guy, or offer to help a friend move, or pay the toll for the person behind you, just do it. I've noticed that I have thoughts like this all the time, but then I'm talking myself out of it by the next thought. If I keep this advice in mind, then I'm much more likely to go through with it, and performing small acts of kindness makes everybody happy. If I hadn't agreed to help an acquaintance move, neither of us would have met our wives. I ended up dating and marrying one of his exes, and he ended up with one of mine. Buy a plunger before you need a plunger. As a teenager, when I first started working part-time jobs, my dad said to me, if there is no work to be done, don't just stand there with your hands in your pockets. Pick up a broom and start sweeping. Best work-related advice I ever received. If you say no to one social arrangement, you say no to 100 more that will come out of it. Oh good, that is much more efficient. Keep moving forward, from a sign in an underground parking garage. If you take yourself too seriously, no one else will. On the flip side, if you never take yourself seriously, no one else will, either. Everything in moderation. We judge ourselves based on our thoughts. The world judges us based on our actions. Really opened my eyes. Let's see if this changes anything up. You judge others by their actions and yourself by your intentions. Always crap before you shower. My dad always told me, when du Dr. Gscheitest I am Raum bish, dann bish I am falschen Raum. Translated, if you're the smartest in the room, you are in the wrong room. Please don't take this advice, kindergarten teachers. Never mention a woman's facial hair. Learned from experience. I once told a GF of mine she should wear deodorant. She was Asian and said Asians do not need deodorant, we don't sweat like white people. She needed deodorant. She was not aware for years of her occasional body odor. She was not impressed, however it probably helped her in the long run to keep jobs and make friends. So, she's welcome I guess. If you ever get married, don't frick other women by some dude who goes by Giraffe. You'll notice you live your life so much more when you stop giving a crap about what you think others think about you. Surprise everyone. Show them you're more than a pretty face and then laugh at them when they look shocked that you've made it. Told to me when I was 17 and was suffering depression and really hated who I was. Took me until I was 21 to be confident enough in who I was to actually do it. I live by those words. It feels so liberating. Going into university, everybody there is just as new to this environment as you. They don't have friends. They don't know the streets. For the first time since the first day of school, you're all on a level playing field. Nobody knows you. Nobody knows anybody. You can be whoever you want, uninhibited by the past. That crap made me so much more socially adaptable. In school, I was quiet and reclusive. I was one of the rejects. Now, I can talk to anyone without a problem and my confidence is higher than ever. The other week, I recommended a band to some random girl in a CD shop, whereas I'd never have done that before. Same goes for asking people the time, making phone calls, making friends, sparking conversations with strangers, etc. In school, if you're unpopular, you don't get to go up and talk to the popular kids. At university, you can go up to a jock, geek, whoever, shoot the crap and not worry about him knowing you by your high school blunders. Starting fresh in a place where nobody else has friends yet was fantastic. Honestly, that experience was more valuable than the degree itself. You deserve what you accept. One of my university professors once told me that, and it has stuck with me, and I will never accept failure. And it taught me never to blame my shortcomings on circumstance or anyone else. I understand this one, but I can't read it without picturing a snooty bee in a retail store asking the staff to perform miracles or abusing fast food workers for a slight mistake in an order. As a parent, you cannot protect your children from this world. You can only prepare them. If you think you know something, find someone who disagrees and listen to them. The money you save buying bad food will later be spent on hospital bills. Serbian dude in a grocery store when my family first came to America. It's better to pay the grocer than the doctor. Italian saying. 2 pieces of advice are tied for the best ever. When you shake hands, place the webbing of your thumb against the webbing of the other person's thumb before your grips close. This will give you a firm handshake and prevent the other person from trying to assert dominance by crushing your fingers. On my first day of graduate school, a faculty research assistant said, "Whenever there's a free food event, go, because the stipends are not that large." The office administrators always send out email notifications of free food in the main office. I've since set my phone to auto-update my inbox on high frequency. You're black and short. You need to work harder than everyone else to get a good job. Thanks, Dad. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. My dad's advice upon finding out I was gay: well, you've still always got to wear a condom, because men are filthy and will literally frick anything. You have to be your own person first. My high school band teacher, in response to a student friend of mine, she was dating someone in the Navy US, and he was being deployed to Maryland. She wanted to drop everything and go with her boyfriend. After her music lesson, she asked what to do. I was in the room across. My lesson was next. The single best piece of advice I have, indirectly, received. It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do. The butthole surfers. The prison says otherwise. Be confident and act like you belong. Got me into some places for free. I was at a music festival in the summer. They had slip and slides and whatnot, so I was wearing a bikini. They had this VIP area for $150 a person where you would get free drinks and food. I walked in there without a wristband. When I was stopped, I pointed to some promo models from a gym wearing a similar color bikini as me. I said I was with them. Got a wristband and a job. The person who owned the gym saw it and offered me to be part of his promo crew. That led to me being a ring card girl for some amazing boxing matches. I knew it was a silly idea to talk about being a female and getting into places in Reddit. At least I get some more content for creepypams. I'm staying at my parents' house and my father and I are both on laptops on either side of the room. I'm supposed to be doing my coursework. He's supposedly doing his taxes. He says that verbatim all the time. I'm now wondering if we're both procrastinating on Reddit. The acid of bitterness eats the container that holds it. I never learned anything when I was talking. You cannot change the past, but you can ruin a perfectly good present by worrying about the future. Life becomes easier when you learn to accept the apology you never got. Cutting people out of your life doesn't mean you hate them. It simply means you respect yourself. Not everyone is meant to stay. Right? You really need to know a person, inside and out, to be in love with them. If you're filling in blanks, it's likely infatuation. You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I think I've seen some of these on Facebook set to a blurry background of a flower. I was in the Thai countryside as an English teacher for half a year once. Second week, the principal's brother, whom I was staying with, took me to see a Buddhist temple out in the forest. I think mostly he wanted to show off his foreign guest. Anyway, he sat me down in front of the head monk, and then the two of them sat talking for half an hour in Thai. When he went to the car to get something, the head monk leaned forward conspiratorially and said to me, "Fat, you exercise." Okay, story time. So one day, I was sitting around. I was an early teenager, so it was pretty much a given that I was super frisky. I began jacking off because, well, what else is there to do? Am I right? Anyways, I was jerking and working, and I wanted to escalate my masturbatory experience. I wanted to frick something. Unfortunately for my young, narcissistically promiscuous self, this is easier said than done. So I set out on a quest, introspective and extrospective, to find some object that is frickable. I looked at loofahs and chairs and trash cans and trash, but nothing quite fit the size of my pubescent dong. Until I found the one. It was a calendar I had, several years out of date, that was bound with a metal spiral, like a notebook. The spiral seemed just the right size to fit my monuments to horniness. So, instead of taking precautions like lubing up or getting all the way hard or thinking, I went gung-ho at it. As I said before, I was not quite all the way erect, and so as I was going at it, the tiny monster began to expand. As you can imagine, it started to get a little uncomfortable in a couple of ways, so I decided to give it a rest. Unfortunately, the little guy had swollen a bit, both from bonnerosity and from some chafing from the metal rings. I had found that my dong had gotten stuck in the calendar, so there I was, saving the date in a very special way, and nobody else was home. I couldn't pry my Excalibur from this stone to crown myself the king of stupid fricking ideas. I had to get somebody to help, though. I wasn't about to call 911, since I had heard that you got billed for that sort of stuff and I didn't want my mom finding out about this escapade. The only person nearby that I could think of was Old Man Nicholson, my neighbor. This guy had to be 70, at least. He had been in the war, and was short, stocky, and I'm pretty sure was made of calluses. For the huge extent that I did not want to go to him for help, I had to. So I went waddling over next door as discreetly as possible, with my pants most of the way on. I rang the doorbell, and after an uncomfortable minute or so, he came to the door. At first he didn't notice the problem, but I said something like, "Mr. Nicholson, I need some help," and looked down at the problem that had arisen. He didn't even bat an eye. He took me inside, and using some pliers, we eventually got the rings apart enough for me to withdraw. He didn't ask any questions, but when I was walking out of the door, he looked me in the eye and said, "Son, you just don't frick calendars. Don't take life seriously, no one gets out alive anyway," has served me very well over the years. Don't let your circumstances choose your actions for you. You can't reason someone out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. You have been spotted by the rare flying floofer. If you comment "good boy" below, he don't steal your hot dogs anymore. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.